What's up? So yes, I know, again, haven't really been doing a lot on here. I've been, again, schematicking, so I'm probably gonna push my overall due date of trying to have a reasonable increase on here probably till August, let's just say that. So, but anyway, so today, I know you guys are here, hey, what's up? This is the Generation 71 coming back to you with some awesome news. I don't know, not really news, more just, again, kind of opinionated stuff and all that. It's just been interesting to see, and I guess it's just the way I think about things, where I just can't help but see this whirlwind of news and outrage and things of that nature just kind of just pop all of a sudden and just be like, oh, hey, all of a sudden now the Wii U and the 3DS are relevant. Not to say that the 3DS was never irrelevant, but definitely has not been talked about a lot, I guess, and I guess not a lot more. Just in comparison, like lately, with Switch being the thing, and now all of a sudden there's like outrage for the 3DS, and more specifically the Wii U. Now, I have to preface this again, I have a very unique perspective. Maybe there's a ton of people that don't necessarily agree with what I'm about to say one way or the other, but it's just hard not for me to see this type of stuff happening, because it just seems that it's not only just the gaming industry, it's the movie industry, the music industry, businesses, etc., etc. So guys, in case you guys didn't hear, Nintendo has announced that they will stop essentially selling games on the Wii U and the 3DS on the eShop. And I mean, it was gonna happen. I don't know why people thought that was gonna be in existence forever. And I think reasonably a lot of people didn't think that was gonna be in existence forever. Just a lot of people are still expecting there to be a way to have those games available to them in some form or fashion without piracy. Now, remember when I say piracy, all of this is going to be very genuine, just very first thoughts, even though I've been thinking about this for a while. But I think generally a lot of people do exactly understand piracy in the sense of like piracy and ROMs if you own the game, etc. If you've owned the game before, I don't know. I'm not here to get into that debate today. I mean, we'll get into that because depending on the reaction to this video, again, you're going to hate me for one reason, you're going to hate me for the other reason. So the reason why I wanted to talk about it is it's just strange how people are starting to flood this news with positives and negatives, saying, okay, well, it's about time that they actually close down these shops, that it's time to open up server space, have more stuff for the Switch. I get that, I understand that, but then there's a lot of people that are so outraged because they're like, hey, there's only a few amount of games that you can get on the eShop on the Wii U, and 3DS, and now you're cutting those off, and more specifically, you're not giving us another way to purchase those games. But I think a lot of people are a little disingenuous in that, in the sense of like, Wii U did not sell. I was one of the 5 people that owned the Wii U. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things like, I love the system. I thought it was a great system. A lot of people will say like, oh no, you're just all of a sudden talking about it. It's like, well, I even kind of had a Let's Play of Yoshi's Woolly World. It didn't pan out or anything like that. But I mean, I did own the system. I love the system. I actually really just bought it from Mario Maker. So I was a very late adopter, honestly. What Mario Maker came out in its 5th or 6th year life cycle. But I thought it was a fine system. You know, definitely not the worst in my opinion, even though if you look at numbers, I think it's one of the worst selling consoles. I don't know, that's just besides the point. But people, I feel like, are being disingenuous, like freaking out, be like, oh my god, Nintendo's doing this, the Wii U was a great system, blah 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 blah. But they're the same people that talk crap about the Wii U. And so it's just a little interesting to see how to get into that news cycle, to get into the algorithm. And I guess you could say I'm doing the same thing in a different sense. But people are getting into this like news cycle by saying it's like, oh, you know, like Wii U was a great system, blah 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 blah. Didn't get the support that it needed. Well, where were you when it was there? And like, you didn't talk about the Wii U at all, you know? But you know what I find hilarious though is then you have the other side of the cycle kind of perpetuate. You could say like these people being disingenuous are bringing it this side. Well, the people that are retaliating are going to this side, where it's the people. It's like, oh, all you guys are talking about the Wii U now. Sorry, I keep focusing my glasses. I'm not sure why the camera angle is like freaking out, but it's, yeah, you're talking about the Wii U now. Like when it was out, you guys never did it. Like I loved the Wii U for like ever. Or people just calling out the BS of saying, yeah, you guys, you know, call out the Wii U now, only just to get those likes, those favorites or whatever. It's the hot thing, or it's like, it's a sexy thing to talk about right now. And it's just, again, very interesting. Like it happens like with almost everything. You have an announcement by Nintendo, a very business announcement. Again, one way or the other, like this was gonna happen. Like I'm not happy that it's happening, that they're closing down the store, but I also wasn't surprised by it. It was going to happen eventually, especially, again, being a part of the gaming industry for such a long time. I mean, look what happened with PlayStation just recently. Sure, the moral and outrage, they ended up, reversing that. But again, reversing it, they're just pushing it on a little bit long until people forget, until people don't talk about it anymore. And that's essentially what's going to happen here, if Nintendo even listens. I don't think Nintendo will listen on this point, because they kind of already have done a lot of other stuff when it comes to like the music on YouTube, striking down channels. There's just a lot of stuff that's already been happening that I just don't think that, no matter how much outcry there is, be like, no, keep the eShop alive. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I just find it funny, and I know it's all a part of the internet game, the content creator game, the influencer game, where yes, you have to be outraged to get those sexy likes, favorites, retweets, whatever you want to call it. And then you have the other side of it, that you have to, because of your platform, you have to be like, nah, man, you fake ass mofo. Like, you never even cared about the Wii. Like, what are you talking about? You cared about the 3DS, but you never talked about it. Now you're outraged that they're closing down the 3D shop, or the eShop. And so I find it interesting. Like, why can't people just understand one way or the other? Like, I'm not even saying like, hey, you can't stand for one side of it. Like, if you actually did like the Wii U, like, don't bash the people that are now all of a sudden standing for the Wii U, even though they never talked about it. But the same thing, like, if you're standing for the Wii U and you talk crap about it in the past, well, maybe you should, like, not necessarily be a hypocrite, but acknowledge, like, hey, man, I grew, like, things are different now. I don't know. It's hard to say that, because I know that people are just doing this for the clout. They're not doing it because they are really genuine, Now, as far as what I think will be happening within the next couple of years, 5 to 10 years, is yes, they will be shutting down the eShop servers by next year, but you'll see 5 to 10 years they will continue to grow their Nintendo Switch Online service to actually have most of these games as a streaming service, and eventually that's exactly what Nintendo Switch Online will be. Whether, again, it be a 5-10 year life cycle, it will essentially be the answer to the Game Pass, but it'll just have a Nintendo exclusive property, properties in that point, from N64. We probably won't see GameCube until probably next gen, or whatever they call it, the new Super Nintendo Switch, whatever, But I think that's overall Nintendo's plan, and obviously they have no plans on announcing that right now, because it's still a very unsure future. A lot of people don't realize, still, like, with this whole thing that shall not be named, because I don't want to get slammed by YouTube, is that it still makes a lot of things very, very unpredictable when it comes to technology, when it comes to server space, things of that nature. So I think overall that's what Nintendo's plan is, but they're not announcing that because they don't need to. Now, with that being said, is it still a little frustrating that they essentially are so much against piracy, but not even piracy, but in the sense of ROMs of that nature? Yeah, it's a little frustrating, especially when you have so much of the community too that's like, no, piracy is bad, like, go buy it from Nintendo. It's like, well, if I could, I would, man. Like, if I could go buy, like, a GameCube, because I was just mentioning on a stream I did earlier today, /twitch.tv/generation_71, if you want to catch me over there. But my GameCube that I'm streaming off of, it's actually starting to sound rough, and I cleaned it actively. I tried to dust it out and all that. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has, but kind of might have to consider, like, doing something different for it sooner rather than later. I don't know. So, but again, once this craps out, can I just go to the store, to a Walmart, buy another GameCube? No, I have to go to a third party, and all of a sudden now, because retro has become so much more scarce, maybe I'm paying $400 for a system. Okay, I'm exaggerating a little bit. I'm not sure about GameCube prices, but it'll be just more expensive than just going straight to Nintendo's like, yo, buy it. So at the end of the day, I think what people just need to realize, that there's no reason to stan a company one way or the other, whether you hate them or whether you love them, because they don't care. They're just there to make money. And honestly, this is all just helping them, because now what have you done? Essentially, you probably got a ton of people trying to find a Wii U, trying to find a 3DS, or if they already have a Wii U 3DS, they're probably putting a ton of money into buying a ton of stuff from their digital shop. So you've essentially just boosted their sales. Say, oh man, I'm gonna lose out on this, I need to get it real quick, oh my god. And then on the other side of it, you promoted a lot more people to go the piracy route, in the sense of like, hey, Nintendo's not gonna give it to me, I'll just get it myself, ROMs via that nature, etc, etc, etc. So at the end of the day, is there a right answer? No. I mean, just do you, man. I mean, and I guess that's why I don't understand the outrage of people, I guess, attacking the people that are now Wii U fans, but then people also attacking the people that are like, dude, like, I've been a Wii U fan for like ever and all that, and this is outrageous. Like, dude, just it's video games. I don't know. That's a guy I watch, RDT85, he says all the time, it's like, dude, it's just video games, man. Like, I know it has a special place in our heart, man, but it's not worth like just berating each other over. So what, do you guys have any comments, concerns? Do you guys disagree with me, agree with me? Comment down below. Do you want to unalive me at this point? Because again, it's a ridiculous thing, but I also understand the news cycle. It's what keeps it going. It's what keeps Nintendo relevant, because as much as I hate to say it, like, I think they also understand by doing these outrageous things, it keeps them in the news cycle, whether it be for us hardcores, where yes, we are disappointed for the 3DS shutting down for the music. This slight news is a reminder to the casuals and to your everyday Joes, like, oh yeah, Nintendo's still a thing. I should go buy a Switch. That's essentially what marketing is. It's like outrage marketing. It's like it affects us, and again, it probably boosted their sales on the eShop now, but it also affects the casual market of just keeping them in the news cycle. So, but anyways, yeah, guys, we'll cut it there for now. Yeah, just let me know what you think. You know, I'm just still working on other stuff. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already haven't called to action there down below. Hit subscribe. You can hit the bell. I'm still against the bell. It's up to you. If you want to hit the bell, cool. I'll give you a cookie. I don't know. So this has been B Generation 71, and we'll catch you guys later.